What's up, guys? Welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And then today's video is another different video than my usual videos, because I am getting tired of making the same videos. So this is going to be my top 5 characters that helped shape my JP account, or got to where it is today. Now, obviously, there are more than 5 characters that help my account, but these 5, I feel like they were at the pinnacle of the characters that I use quite often to clear a lot of the harder contents in the game. So I just want to highlight them. You can think of this as a JP account update, but I just want to highlight these 5 characters. And one thing that I would like to add is these characters are not the top 5 meta characters in JP right now. This is basically my list for my account specifically that help my account, okay? So don't think of this as the top 5 characters in JP right now. It is not. It is just my list that helped my account to get where it is today. Now, without further ado, let's start this video. So number 5 is going to be Tidus for me. Now, he's not a Basura anymore, which is amazing, and we all know there's another Basura bro, but he's not Basura now as well. So Basura bros, RIP, bro. So the reason why Tidus is just number 5, now remember, there are over 100 characters, so being in number 5 isn't a bad thing, okay? So he's a great DPS. His rework really helped him to overcome, I guess, a lot of his issues before, where he doesn't really have a lot of brave hits to begin with. A lot of his brave hits were just like 3 hits, and then he will do an HP attack, and it's kind of hard to, I guess, add those brave hits in his animation. So adding the Blitz Ball every single turn he takes is definitely going to help with the, I guess, the brave plus HP attack factor. So he has a lot of turn shenanigans, which he already kind of had before his rework, but in here it obviously shines a lot more because of the Blitz Ball. His debuffs are now framed as well, which is very nice, so it's not easy to get rid of, it's not easy to push off, and of course his burst effect is very nice as well. Now, it lasts for 10 turns, but it doesn't really last that long if you really use Tidus the way he's I guess sort of implemented. You can kind of drag it out a little bit, but essentially he will trigger his Blitz Ball attack twice in one turn instead of just the one. So again, another increased factor of the missing brave plus HP attack. And Yuna actually tosses the Blitz Ball during the last attack, so that is a great fan service overall. Now, the last thing that I will add to Tidus is I did clear quite a lot of earlier content with Tidus, and I remember specifically there was this one Lavinia fight. I can't remember the actual Lavinia, but there was a Lavinia fight where I actually ignored the Lavinia orb thanks to Tidus. It was counting down, but Tidus's damage was so high that it didn't matter. I just completely ignored the Lavinia orb counter, and boy, he managed to do it. So I think doing that deserves to be on my top list that shaped my account. Okay, guys, so number 4 has got to be the girl that started everything. The main reason why I started playing the JP version of Dissidia Opera Omnia. I only wanted to really try her out and see what all the big fuss was about, and I even re-rolled sometime, but ended up just going back to the first account that I actually started with. When I first started to play JP again. So not my very first account. I did remake it an account, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Tifa is basically press LD and win. That's how I can really describe what Tifa is. She's a strong single target DPS, so don't expect any splash damage. She's gonna concentrate on one target and just blow them up. So the biggest thing with Tifa is actually making the summoning board farming quicker for me. I actually add a lot of people that have Tifa as their friend support, because that just makes it so much easier. I can run like 3 crappy characters that have ×2 on them, seeing as there's a current event or something like that, and then I just switch the friend Tifa, and basically the fight lasts for 1 to 2 turns. So she's that broken, and she's completely strong and still quite relevant in the current meta. I believe I still used her in the current the latest Transcendence fight. So yeah, I do think she's really great, and coupled her with a good support character, definitely she can still hold her own. Now I did try not to use Tifa too much when it came to clearing hard content previously, because I felt like it was kind of like a cheat skill, like a cheat character. Like, it makes me winning kind of cheap. But later down the track, I kind of like, well, I guess I can use her now. There's other broken characters in the market right now, so I eventually just started using her more often than I would, and as a call button as well. Her call ability she still does a pretty decent amount, and the first character that I completely maxed out when it comes to character boards and summon boards, and I did max her out with her blue armor as well. So pretty strong character. And speaking of broken character, number 3 for me is going to be Vaan. Now, Vaan, my top 3 characters are actually quite interchangeable. Vaan, I found that I've been using him a lot more than my number 1 character, but my number 1 character actually helped me clear so much, so I just had to put Vaan down a little bit. So I think he's probably the most broken DPS character in the game right now in JP. However, he still has that elemental issue. So if there's elemental weakness, if you can't imperil that, well, he's not going to do as much damage, but he's still going to do quite a bit. So I mainly use him now for chaos fights, just to make things so much quicker. I would use his burst, and I would pair him up with my number 2 character, which I'll go over later, and basically just wipe the chaos fight really quickly, unless the chaos fight obviously has a lot of elemental resistances. But overall, even with those resistances, sometimes Vaan just ignores them completely. He can do splash damage, he can do single target damage, you name it, he can do it. In terms of, like, I guess the only thing he doesn't do is 100% HP damage, but his rework really helped him. And you can pair him up with Yuna as well to increase the buff from his LD, which makes it you get 1 extra turn from that. That means 1 extra free usage of your choice of your skill 1 or skill 2. And honestly, he's been clearing quite a lot of content for me as of right now. Like I said, my top 3 are kind of interchangeable. I kind of just went with, okay, this character really helped me clear more content and stuff, so that's how I kind of ranked them in the end. Now, speaking of the character to pair up with any DPS, I got Setzer at number 2. He just got his LD, and man, this is crazy. It's the most broken support, I think, in the game. Probably not, but just his LD buff, get this. Get this. He will give 6 turns of a chance for everyone in the party, so that he gives a buff to them, and they have a chance to hit their maximum potential damage at a certain percentage. As that buff goes down, the percentage does go down, but you still notice it. So think of it like this. There's an enemy that has such a high defense, you're only doing 1,000, 2,000 break damage, and you need to shave it off. Well, Setzer can get rid of that pretty easily. That's why I think he is a great partner for multi-hitting characters such as Vaan or Tidus, or later on my number 1 pick, which I don't want to spoil right now. So there's a ton of characters that have multiple brave hits, and I think Vaan is probably the most I would say the most, I guess, the character that benefits the most out of Setzer's buff. So his freeze is now 3 turns, which is currently, I think, in global still 2 turns. And this gives him a brave refund now. It just doesn't keep his brave to 0. That means he can no longer easily be broken back. He can still delay. The damage is still okay, but I mean, your damage doesn't really matter anymore once you have Setzer. This really made me think of, probably not building on attacks anymore, but something else. You can be pretty defensive with a Setzer support, because either way, there is a chance that you'll hit, max potential damage. And I'm not saying that, attack is completely useless when you have Setzer, but it just makes it so maybe you can build something else for attack. Maybe give him a little bit of HP instead. I don't know. Attack is still probably the best in the end, but at least, the game is starting to think, or at least the devs are trying to kind of move away from, okay, you just need attack and max brave 330, or attack plus their C50 crystal passive. I think they really need to try to implement something else in the game, that other potential artifact passives are going to be helpful. I mean, defense is so useless, HP is, and it's just annoying that there are all these other stuff in the artifact passives that, basically are pretty useless. And hopefully we can steer a little bit away from that, and that's what Setzer does, basically. Now, as for my number 1 character that helped my account, it has to go to Cloud of Darkness. She's a great DPS. She has a great burst effect that kind of acts like Noctis, but she activates it every time your party has a turn as well. So if you have, like, say, Tidus in the party or Tifa, you can keep using their turn shenanigans thing and keep repeating, and she will keep on attacking. And what's great about her is it's a AoE Bray plus AoE HP attack. The damage is split. However, if you really stack it up, it's insanely strong. And of course, she still has delay. She has a re-break now with her LD. She has the super delay, obviously. Once you get 5 stacks of that special whatever it is, she can also be a great support character. So a friend character is what I mean here. So if you have a friend COD, you can summon and use her burst straight away, and then do the turn shenanigans. And then once that COD friend is finished, get back in your own COD and then use her burst, and then repeat, rinse and repeat, and the damage just clearly stacks up. I've cleared more hard content than any other character with Cloud of Darkness on my team. She's definitely on the top of my list. Again, my 1 to 3 are kind of interchangeable, but I just have to give COD the nod. So I guess that is pretty much it for my list. But if I have to really talk about some of my notable characters, it would be X-Death right now, which kind of acts like COD. As long as his burst effect is in effect, he will do HP damage on the enemies, and that is regardless of anyone's turn. It only lasts for 3 X-Death turns, but I believe it's 3, right? I think it's 3, but you know, that is so much damage if you do know how to stack up the turn shenanigans and stuff. I guess the other one, Terra, is another one that has turn shenanigans, so much turns, and it is great to pair up with COD, great to pair up with X-Death as well. And I think that if I have to have a notable character, it has to be X-Death right now. I did get his burst, so it really helps me knowing how it all works out. Anyway, that is it for the video. So the question for this video, I guess for you guys, is which character helped shape your current account? Now this is regardless whether it's global or JP. Let me know down in the comment below. You can have a top 5 characters that shaped your global account or your JP account. I don't really care if you just want to list down 3, 2, or just one specific character. Let me know down in the comments below. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously, because it does help the channel and I would really appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.